This is why I think that $13 is not enough to pay bills, to pay groceries, to even have a little bit of spending money, especially as a young man or especially as a young adult, right? Now, in today's video, I will be talking about why in my opinion, on why $13 is just not enough and why me personally, I quit, right? And I feel like there's a lot of money to be made, and you don't necessarily have to put a lot of effort, into making the dollar. But here's the thing. The dollar is crashing anyway, right? The American dollar, the value of it is, it's being lost each and every day, right? But here's the thing. A lot of young people, we want to, we want to be entrepreneurs. We want to be able to make money, from our establishments. When I say establishments, I'm talking about, our houses and things regarding to that. But here's the thing, right? Even if you live with your parents, don't feel discouraged, that you live with your parents, because you have the ability to save money before you really enter, the world and things regarding to that. Now, of course, you could be like, well, Dalen, why don't you just get a new job? It's because I was thinking this, right? I was just thinking $13 per hour. I spend 1 hour of my life in this establishment, 1 hour. I could be studying the YouTube analytics. I could be studying crypto, or I could be studying something different that can, in the long term, make me a lot of money, right? So I was sitting here thinking like, bro, I'm spending so much time and effort, making somebody else, more money while they spend more time with their families. They're at home, spending more time with their families while I'm here, making them more money, making them more richer. It didn't sit well with me, right? So I was just thinking like, bruh, okay, I need to figure out a way that I can, potentially still, get unemployment, in the process of me trying to establish and build a foundation, right? Now, hear me out. This is not the only YouTube channel that I have, right? This is not the only YouTube channel that I have. But I'm be honest with y'all, I'm not monetizing any of my YouTube channels, right? So, you can be, dang, Dalen, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because here's the thing, right? The level of faith that I have for my dedication and whatever I put, my foot in, right? I know that I'm going to be working 10 times, not 10 times hard, but I know I'm going to be working towards something greater than if I would, be punching 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with working a job at all. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But all I'm saying is, right, or from, what I want to build, is greater. So I'm going to put my time and effort into, perfecting my craft, perfecting what I want to do as far as my, social media marketing, as far as my YouTube career, right? Now, with YouTube, what I have noticed about YouTube, there's a lot of small creators that's blowing up, right? There's a lot of small creators that's blowing up simply off, like just storytelling or plain looking videos, right? The editing stuff is kind of played out. I've been doing YouTube over potentially 3 to 4 years, right? Now, I had my moments where I stopped. I did. I had my moments where, my videos, well, no, not my videos, but one of my videos hit, 1 million views. But I couldn't monetize it because I didn't understand the rules and regulations that YouTube had. So it made me reset. But here's the thing. When I hit 1 million views, I was studying them analytics. I was studying the impression rates. I was studying these things that matter as far as when a video does get a lot of exposure, so out of this, 3 years of me being on YouTube or me studying YouTube, I really am grateful of the understanding that I have, and that the understanding that I can potentially even teach y'all, so I'm just feeling optimistic when it comes to, this YouTube stuff. And, I would like to, you know, just share that and just share my stories and just share my experience, share my spiritual journey with y'all, right? Of course, if y'all would tune into it, or if y'all be interested in, of course, right? But yeah, $13, like, there's no way that a young man could survive like this, man. You know, but you know, I'm gonna wrap the video up. I'm not trying to make the video that long. I'm not trying to drag it out to get watch hours or anything like that, right? I was just simply stating that 13 hours for any, I don't, $13 for anybody. It's like, dang, bro, like, but hey, if you like content like this, you're not forced to drop a like, comment, or subscribe or nothing like that, right? But I was just simply, you know, venting to YouTube in this platform, right? But we gonna make sure we get up out of here. If you're watching this video, man, hope you blessed, man. I hope you out there kind of having, you know, a spirit of endurance, man, you know, because it's hard times, you know. Of course, it's hard times right now, but yeah,